chainsaw, this chainsaw is a rebranded version of the same chainsaw that I bought from Harbor Freight a couple years ago. So I'm expecting it to only last for a little while. It's probably going to disintegrate, break, and fall apart relatively quickly. But when I unbox it, I'm almost 100% positive this is the same weed eater. It's just a different color plastic, and it has a new name branded on it. Something that's very common with Chinese manufacturers to rebrand their product to get it back on the market as quickly as possible after fixing a flaw. They had a recall on the Harbor Freight version, so a lot of that shit they're selling on Amazon is starting to be like AliExpress, Alibaba. They're starting to show their Chinese quality. So if you really want to figure out how good this chainsaw is, I'm going to make a couple videos on it. My backyard's wild right now, so I got a lot of shit I got to cut up. So I'm going to continue this video in a second. Alright, I wanted to make a quick comparison to this Harbor Freight chainsaw that I bought a while back. And I'm going to try to look for it and do a side-by-side comparison to this one compared to that one. And I definitely see some noticeable differences. The spinning mechanism looks to be pretty much the same. I don't know if that's an industry standard. But one thing I do find interesting is this device right here. It's like a whetstone. You see it's kind of got a light blue color to it. And apparently you pull this back and I guess it breaks it. It acts like a brake. So I don't think it's for sharpening. I could be wrong. I'm going to read the instructions a little bit later to figure out that. But that's something that's definitely new. It came with oil. It used all of it, so it has a larger reservoir than the other one. And it's far heavier and it's made out of harder plastic. And this right here on the other one was plastic and it broke off. The whole handle broke off. So I had to hold it manually. I notice now it's metal, but it has the same design and shape to it. So they made a casting and made this out of metal. So I think that's a huge difference. And this plastic seems harder. But I'm almost certain this is a revised remake of this same brand that they sold at Harbor Freight that they had a recall on because of injuries. So I'm staying hyper aware. I'm also trying to figure out how to do the tensioner. The tensioner is a lot different. So I'm trying to tighten it up before I do a test run. It did come with a registration, which is interesting. The one I bought from Harbor Freight did not have a registration. So whatever company it is, it's probably following different guidelines or rules. So anyways, I'll give it a test run in a second. Alright, you can see I cleared out this area right here. These soccer balls from my next door neighbor. It's an Airbnb. They kick a lot of balls in my yard. They have a lot of parties, orgies, all kinds of weird stuff next door. But to give you an idea of what I'm going to try to tackle tomorrow, I'm going to try to take out this branch right here. It's dying and clear up some of this growth that's been hitting my roof, patch up some tiles, the tightening mechanism. Also, I strongly like any electric weed eater. It's strongly recommended you unplug it before you make any adjustments to the blade. I think that was one of the big things about the recall on the other one is a lot of people were leaving it plugged in and then they were turning it on. It was coming on while they were tightening it. This one has a lot more safety features, but I still think that it might be able to do that. So I recommend unplugging it before you tighten the chain. You can see the cutting wheel. It just splatters it all over the fucking place. But all in all, for to get the job done, cheap ass chainsaw, it's doing its job. I mean, 10 out of 10, I give this a 5, maybe a 6. And the reason why is that it's a lot better than I thought it would be. I swear to God, it is a improved version of the Harbor Freight chainsaw that some company found a way to get into the country by relabeling it and making safety adjustments to it. But I'm going to try to grab that other one later and put it side by side. You kind of get the idea of what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's doing a pretty decent job so far. Tomorrow I'm going to try to cut a lot thicker pieces of wood, so I might try to get some of that recorded.